Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Virginia Kilmore, and welcome to my studio. This week, we'll be featuring a sneak peek of the wonderful new catalog coming in January. I will show you the cover of it right now because the stamp set that's on the cover is what we're going to be using today. It's called Fine Art Gallery, which of course fits right up my alley. It's actually called Art Gallery, but I consider it fine art because it's really a beautifully painted looking stamp set. So without further ado, let's get started. So isn't this beautiful, this card? It looks like a toile print or a beautiful piece of wallpaper. I'll zoom out so you can see more things. But I just love the set. And I love the idea that I could stamp the set with one color ink and get the variety that you see here. We'll be using this story label punch in a little bit, so I'm going to set it aside. But we're going to get started right away on the card. If you have not gotten the catalog, which is still a little early if you're on my mailing list, I think you'll be getting it towards the end of the month. But I'll give you a sneak peek today inside. This is the Fine Art Floral Suite, which is what I ordered. I ordered the paper, the ribbon, the gold sheets that lay over the paper. It's beautiful. I even got some of the gold, I don't know if you call it flocking. I'll be showing you that along as well as the stamp set. This is the stamp set that comes with it. And today we're going to be using these two stamps and this, as well as a free set that you'll get from Celebration, which I have right here. Because during the month of January and February, Celebration, if you order $50, you get a free stamp set. This is the stamp set that you would get, and I love the calligraphy in here. It's just beautiful. So to get started, we're going to need a sheet of 8.5 by 5.5 Whisper White cardstock, and we can go ahead and adhere our Night of Navy right on there. I'm going to adhere that right off the bat and let that dry while we work on the front of the card. I always like to get that situated. I usually put a weight over it, which will probably be my, what do you call it, my punch. So now all I need is this piece right here. The gold piece I've already pre-cut. It's from brushed gold paper from the Christmas catalog, which I think is carrying over, so you'll still be able to get it after the holiday. And I am going to put a sheet of white paper under here because it is Monday. Now, I've written on here that a lot of these things will only be available January 5th, but you can start looking at it and start dreaming about what you'd like. And I am going to be using Night of Navy to stamp all over, and I'm going to take first the stamp set has the largest image on it, largest surface area, because this one here has less surface area and it'll be the dark highlight. And I'm going to stamp once on here and then once here. Oops, not a good start. Same thing here, stamp again. It looks like I didn't get a good coverage, so I'm going to come back and stamp right about there. I think my stamps are a little dry, so I'm going to stamp one more time right here. And then I'm going to switch to the other floral spray that looks more like tulips than peonies. But I guess it could be peony buds. So I'm going to put one here. A big one right here in the middle. Get a lot of that in there. and then a small one in the bottom. Now I am seeing some spots that are not going down well. Part of that is probably the stamp is new, but I'm sort of rushing, so that also is not helpful. I need to leave the stamp down a little bit longer. Now this one I do want to stamp well because this is sort of the finishing touch. And this goes over the large peony, and I can take this and just turn it around and then just line it up the best I can. If it's not perfect, don't worry about it, because the card is made to look artful, and a good watercolor is never completely solid. It has lots of white in it. So that just, it becomes part of that white that you're supposed to have anyways. And then the last little piece is this tiny little one that'll go over the flowers that look like, that I said look like tulips. But what's interesting is it looks different on every flower in the bunch. So here it is on one. Can't really see it. You'll really notice it here. Look at how different it'll look on each flower. It's the same stamp, but because of the way it colors, it looks slightly different. And my stamping's done now. All I need to do now is stamp a sentiment, which I'm going to do on a scrap piece of paper. And I'm using this thank you that I think is gorgeous from that set. And I did a raspberry, so I'm flipping it over. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. It's probably because I pushed too hard. That is one of the things that is so hard. It's the timing and also how hard you push. If you push too hard, you're going to have a problem. So it's better to leave the stamp on the cardstock longer than to push hard to make sure you get a good impression. And I do notice a difference between these stamps and the photopolymer. Photopolymer don't have the cushion that the rubber stamps, so sometimes when you flip between them, your feel is different. You think you should be pushing down hard like you do with a photopolymer, but it's just the opposite with the rubber because you have that cushion in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out of my Whisper White. And I just remembered why I shouldn't have glued down that Night of Navy, but I have plenty of Night of Navy, so I'm just going to pull a piece out. You know how I like to pull a piece out of the center of my cardstock. Well, I was supposed to have done that before I glued it down, but memory is not my better forte lately. So now I'm just going to cut this in half, and I am going to adhere it to this. Okay, this is the good side. I got scared that I had punched the wrong side. And I'm going to put it on and then make adjustments once I have it glued on. So I like to get it down. And now I can make minor adjustments up and down so that it looks like I have a punch that's bigger than this, but I've turned it into a backing for my card. Now I'm going to put ribbon on here, and this is also new ribbon that will not be available until January 5th. I think that's the date that they release the new celebration catalog. I should take a look so that I'm not sending you on a wild goose chase, but I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the back of this using my Stampin' Seal that I love. Have I told you how much I love this? I know I say that every time. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that, and now I can adhere it to the gold and then to the cardstock. And this piece is only 1/8 of an inch difference than the overall Whisper White piece, but I think it adds a really dramatic touch to the card. Go ahead and put that down. I always like to make sure that I'm putting it on straight. I can't tell you how many times I've gone ahead to try to do a card, only to discover that I put it backwards. And I'm going to use up some of these pieces. I have lots of these sitting around, the little edge pieces of my Stampin' Dimensionals. And one of the tricks that's really important is to make sure that you have glue or Stampin' Dimensional past this edge of this ribbon, because if you don't, the ribbon can move around. And there you have it. Look at what a pretty card that is. So simple, very quick, and you will be able to look at it or get this set in about 3.5 weeks. I hope you have a great day, and oh, just a reminder, tomorrow's Coffee and Cards, and I'm going to be focusing on a no-peek gift bag tomorrow, and you can use old Christmas cards for this. So make sure to check out the top post on my Facebook post that'll tell you everything you need to have for that tomorrow. Okay? Have a great day. Hope to see you tomorrow. And it'll be live at 10:30. Enjoy. Get some stamping done today.